Yeah. Are you AF enough? You talk loud, but the chain don't bluff. Benji's in the wallet and the pot stack up. On chain lotto, watch the prize blow up. Hey, hey, are you AF enough? Die hard gang, get that cold bill tough. Poker on the chain and we all play rough. Safe to the end, that's the way we run up. Hey, hey. Whole squad digital, whole squad lethal. This a lost cash, never bout it, no people. Say it fam tight, every member ain't equal. But if you ain't about it, then we spot you at see-through. Wallet on fat, yeah, the Benji go sprint. Chain so fast, you can't track the imprint. Talking big bags, man, we been that since. Hit the lotto on chain, watch the whole squad rent. Are you AF enough? You talk loud, but the chain don't bluff. Benji's in the wallet and the pot stack up. On chain lotto, watch the prize blow up. Hey, hey, are you AF enough? Die hard gang, yeah, that cold bill tough. Poker on the chain and we all play rough. Safe to the end, that's the way we run up. Hey, hey. We don't chase hype, we create that wave. Block after block like we building a rave. Poker nights lit, we don't play to be saved. We play to take pot, stack chips, get paid. Now tell me straight, when the time gets tough, do you break or you double up? Cause in this crew, loyalty ain't optional. Only question is, are you AF enough? Are you AF enough? You talk loud, but the chain don't bluff. Benji's in the wallet and the pot stacked up. On chain lotto, watch the prize blow up. Hey, hey, are you AF enough? Die hard gang, yeah, that cold bill tough. Poker on the chain and we all play rough. Safe to the end, that's the way we run up. Hey, hey.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, this is bright on my face. I got the lights off in the room. I am so sorry for being so late. We had a couple things to deal with. One of my business partners needed me in more ways than one. So I was handling business. I might be a little quiet tonight. Wifey already fell asleep. So I want to make sure I don't disrupt her too much. But I did want to jump on cam, talk about some market sentiment, and kind of fill you guys in with the way we're pivoting on our lotto system itself. Number one, let's address the markets. I know today was wild for some. I'm on the West Coast. I woke up just in time to see the bloodshed for the most part already happen, and kind of waited and settled in before alerting the room on which direction I was taking. Number one, we had a pretty big flush to the upside before rejecting this massive 200 SMA that we always reject on recently, and hitting 134 and completely collapsing down to a new low, which breaks structure for the first time in a really long time. This was our only uptrend we had to live off of. This is a 4-hour chart on Solana, and obviously it lost that by a long shot. We also have structure broken on the daily, beyond belief. I mean, we're talking about a new low, and it is a technical double bottom, a little bit lower than a double bottom, but we're talking about from 11/21, so November 21st bottom. This is daily candles. Besides that, the really only thing we have support-wise is 112 and $95. Like, legitimately, you got two lower lows that you could potentially hold. Since the $95 drop back in April 7th to be exact, we have never touched 100 again, but we've gotten close. We got to the 125 and some change. We blasted off that. And then, of course, we were trying to hold this 125 marker, and we're just below that right now currently. So obviously the conditions of Solana, not the healthiest, but if you've been paying attention recently, you could have seen a lot of the signs. For one, we can go to the USDT dominance. We've talked about this on several occasions. This is the daily uptrend, almost a 45-degree angle. And this is since October 6th, I believe. October 6th, we've been just marching up. marching up, marching up, marching up. So where do I look? Well, I was looking to see if we were going to get a higher high, and we did a couple days back, right? No longer getting lower highs. We broke out of that, and now we're towards the upside, stretching away. So this uptrend is telling you that people are putting what? Their cryptocurrency into USDT. This is Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, HBAR, meme coins, whatever it is that they have, converting it to USDT. It is at 6.44%. Second highest I've seen it since tracking it personally. Shout out to Clutch for putting me up on this. So until we break this daily trend, we have sell pressure on Solana, on everything. That's just where we're at, right? And so every time we come to this daily trend, unless we lose it, you're expecting for there to be a bear run. This would look bullish and a bear run on your crypto, whatever it is that you're looking at. And Solana is obviously what we track 24/7. So it kind of makes sense. I'll tell you this much. I've been tracking SOL dominance recently. Haven't really brought it up on stream yet because I've been really trying to get dialed in and see what it even does and what it looks like. On the weekly chart, this is its current uptrend for Solana's dominance, meaning they have about 2.4% of all crypto is in Solana. 2.4%. The peak right around 4%. Right? So here is Solana's dominance in the crypto game being tested on that lifetime trend for the second time in just the past, month and a half? And what did we do? We touched it, and we're trying to hold on to it currently, hoping to get a bounce off of it. That's one thing we can look at. So we know if we lose 2.4%, we're coming down to at least start testing these levels, 2.25, even 2.13. And in all honesty, that's a low percentage of actual market share when it comes to crypto in general. We know Bitcoin's been around 60%, right, for the past few months, but we're talking about for Solana here, right? So these are the things that I look at to kind of help prepare myself for the trades on a daily basis. I do not make trades without looking at USDT dominance to see where it's at, see what zones or levels it's testing. Same way I don't take any trades without looking at Bitcoin dominance, and Solana dominance is something that I just started charting monthly charts. I'll be doing weeklies tomorrow, really trying to learn how that moves and what have you. However, even in a day like today, the only alerts I gave in Novex for my personal channel, let me do this so I can show you. Go to entire screen. So this is the only thing I can show you. As of December 17th, at 2:05 was my first alert. Now, I had been in this position since about 8:30 in the morning, but I wasn't confident enough into alerting anybody on what I was doing because the market was in a straight free fall. But by 2 o'clock, I started seeing the selling pressure exhaust. And that's when I took my first alert of 122.38 as the actual starting pack. I had 2 units at 121.75 that did not hit, 3 units at 120.50 that did not hit. So I took longs in this environment. And I proceeded to trim at 12.5, 14.5, 18.5. I said this was my last trim because I only had a little bit left in my position, but it kept ripping. So I trimmed a little bit more at 24% and then eventually got up to as high as 41%. You can see the date that I opened it, the time, the open price, all of it there. Now, that position is still open, but I've been adding and trimming throughout this whole process. So I'm at 32%. Not doing this to brag. I'm doing this to tell you that even though It was extremely bearish today. I still found spots that I saw opportunity for longs. Remember, the key to this industry, you guys, is to ensure you don't run out of capital. Catching falling knives is a dangerous game, which is why I was very patient as to when I decided to enter these longs. And you can see when we pull it up how bad this was in a free fall. Just straight off the 134 level. These are 15-minute candles. So for 45 minutes, it proceeded to drop down from 134 to 126, $8. And then in the next 45 minutes, it ended up losing 124 and some change. Now, here's where you'll see my green arrows when I finally started to enter and why I started entering. We're going to go to 1-minute candles here so you can see where it is. So here's our fall. Here's our 8:30 in the morning. And I hope now that I've blown up the screen, you can kind of see a little bit better. Okay, so my first buy was right here on the bottom wick. 50 at 124.04. I got a nice little pop, so I definitely got the bottom, but I did not trim at the 50 SMA. Should have, but did not. But my 2-unit ad, which was 75 at 123, was virtually a bottom wick. These are 1-minute candles, virtually a bottom wick. Why? This is a weekly level, 122.68. That's why I jumped in to add here off of that weekly level. When did I trim? The next time we were coming up on this 50 SMA, 50 EMA, because that's where it fell short last time. So I trimmed, not once, but twice. Once we breached this on the 1 minute, I trimmed again. And once we failed to get a higher high, the next time we breached, I trimmed again. So this was 1 buy, 2 buys, 4 trims. From there, I waited until what? It came down to that same level. Right there. I added 60 units or 60 sold back on that same bottom as I did before. Did not trim the first zone. It's too quick. It held the second zone, gave me affirmation or confirmation that this was for sure the support, the local support. But the next time it got to the 50 SMA, I trimmed 25 out of the 60. It pulled back, not enough to add again, just pulled back partially, popped again. And now that we came up on the 100, I trimmed at the 100, 123.80. The high for this candle was 123.83. Again, these are 1-minute candles. So I trimmed 25 out of the 60. And I already trimmed 25 out of the 60, right? So now I proceeded to wait and add again. Now, because we have hit a lower high than the previous swing high, I waited patiently to see if, in fact, this would be support, which it was. But again, not enough to trim. So I waited and I waited. And now I wanted to see if this was, in fact, going to be our local support. Nice bounce. Oops. Nice bounce. It was. So the next time it came down here, you see the green arrow. I bought back the 50 I just sold. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And finally, it came to test this level once again, where I sold my first 25 units, or 25 sold. It pushed up again, another 25 sell. It pushed up a third time. This is my next level, weekly level, 123.46. Trimmed my last 10, which still gave me an extra 10 left on the sidelines, in which I sold 10 here and waited and waited and waited and waited. And finally, I started to form an uptrend. So my next ad was actually a raise. I rose my average price. I actually bought it right here to only 20 of them to get back to the full unit at 122.24. Held it. It's holding this new uptrend. I'm back at these areas again where I trimmed, and once again trimmed. Waited. Finally, we got a test of the next weekly level, 123.44 I trimmed. The high was 123.447. I trimmed that 123.442. And you can see the high right here when I hover over it. This is 0.005 cents from top wicking that level. Why did I trim there? This is my weekly level. From here, we had our pullback. We finally got back to holding. So I averaged in a higher amount, again, bringing my average up. Bought 15 to get back to a full unit. And then again, it got to my level and I trimmed my 5. Waited. Got back to another high point, which is higher than this. Once I saw that, I was waiting to get the trim out on the 1 minute, sold another 5, waited for it to come back to my trend line, which it did. And now I added again. I have perpetually kept this position open since 8:30 in the morning, where I bought another 10, waited for the peak, got a higher high, trimmed again, 5, saw that that was the new local high, trimmed another 5, and waited. And waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. And now we finally lost our uptrend. So now I will scale out the last few I have left before I go to bed, obviously. And I waited. And I still have 10, that means? Yes, still have 10. So that's the way I play these markets during these times. I wait for the selling pressure to be exhausted, and then I little by little accumulate, and I trim at each level. There's no secret to my madness. No secret to my madness. That's the way I play these moves. Because it's the end of the night, I don't go to bed with positions. A lot of y'all know that already. Okay, that's actually way too small. There we go. This position's at 39%. Again, you can see the time, 8:34 in the morning. I don't know if that's too small for you, but I'll make it a little larger. 8:34 in the morning. So this is a trade that if you look at it, I will break down on a 15-minute to make it easy. Let's break down how many buys and how many trims. So the greens are buys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times I've added to this position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 trims. 8 buys, 20 trims. That's the way I trade perpetuals. It's perpetual. It's everlasting. So I'm buying the dip, selling the rip, buying the dip, selling the rip, trimming more of the rip if it gives me a bigger push, buying more if it gives me a bigger drop. And that's just the way I perpetually trade a perpetual. I try not to close it out the whole day. So on this small account that I started with 5 SOL in, the cost of SOL is obviously down. But if you do the math, we'll go to position history. We'll go here. So I made 9.74% of my portfolio value today. That one trade that I kept going in and out and in and out, I made about 10% of the value of this account. If I take the money that's in this account, $806, and I divide that by $123.72, that puts my 5 SOL that I started with on the 15th of December. That puts me at about 6.5 Solana. So I've made 1.5 SOL in 3 days, which is exactly my goal, a half a SOL per day for this particular account. Now I'm telling you guys this openly because it adds up. You see SOL is going down, but I'm still accumulating a half a SOL every day with this method. When SOL returns, each SOL I'm inheriting, if you will make this worthwhile. The assets that I see, sometimes they're going down even though I'm profitable, and it's primarily because the underlying Solana is going down in price. You guys really got to make sure you understand the difference. So again, on this particular trade today, we have $115 that we made off of it, and $44 of it was fees. That's a net positive of $70.80, which is a little bit more than a half a Solana at these price levels, right? That's what you have to understand, because if I withdraw this amount, I'm going to have my 5 SOL that I deposited come out to over 6.5 SOL. It's hard sometimes when you're trading and the value of your account's going down because Solana's going down, but you're making profits on your trade. It's hard to stomach. In some cases, I'm in a short, Solana's going down, and even though I make money on the short, my value of my account's the same. But what we fail to do is take into consideration what each SOL is worth. So you have options. You can withdraw your funds into USDC stable, so you don't have to worry about the fluctuation, or you could just keep stacking more and more and more Solana as you trade. And that's been my overall outlook in being a long-term bull for Solana. That's my outlook. I rather just keep making SOL. That way, when SOL returns to greatness, it balloons. If I woke up and SOL was at 150 tomorrow, I now have what, 7 SOL in here almost? Multiplied by $30, I'd wake up, the account would grow like $225 without me being in a trade. No trade, no active trade, and I'd wake up to over $1,100 account. That's the way it works when you're trading Solana, not USDC, but actually Solana. You can deposit Solana on Novex, or you can deposit USDC. It's your choice, right? I think depositing Solana makes more sense for me because, again, I believe in the trajectory of Solana in the long haul. So that's why I keep my particular trading account for live trades simply on Solana. Now, when I tell you risk management is everything, and I scream it every day on every one of these calls, I mean it, you guys. You should not be getting liquidated in these events. It's okay if you're wrong on a trade to pull the trigger and close it out for a loss. Don't live on hopium and just hope that it comes back to life. It's not going to do that, and you can very well get liquidated, and then you have to start over, and sometimes you don't have the resources to start over with, right? So I started this live trading account with 5 SOL on the 15th of December. I've traded it in front of you guys on every single day. We had the cup and handle with Ghost yesterday. We went 1 for 1. That trade was extended in the group chat on Telegram, in which we went in and out and in and out, I think 3 times. The day before that, we were on a live stream. We went 2 for 2. I think it's important, if you're learning the trading side of it, to really tune in and understand what every dynamic of what you're doing is. Risk management. Why is the cost on my portfolio fluctuating? Because it's fluctuating based on its value in per Solana. Solana goes up, so does the price on this, obviously. Solana goes down, then the price of this goes down with it, right? It's in Solana, even though it's telling me my assets valued in the USDC view. If I withdraw, I'm withdrawing it in USDC. If I convert it to Solana, I'm going to have more than my 5 Solana I started with. On the 15th of December, Sol, go to the 4-hour chart. Sol was around 135-ish. This is the 15th of December candle. So I deposited it early in the morning, December 15th, 5 Sol at 134. Well, now that Sol sits at 123. I lost $11 per Sol. It doesn't sound like much, only 5 Sol to start with. It's only 55 bucks. That's what I've lost in value per Solana. But I've also had 3 days with only one red trade that I didn't alert everybody on because it was a late night trade that I scalped on. Other than that, I think, I don't know the math, but all public trades are green. Again, this is not me bragging or boasting or saying I'm the best. This is because if I'm telling people I'm taking a trade, it's because I'm very confident in that trade. When I'm scalping and there's no eyes on me, I can be a little riskier. I can go a little heavier. I can do things like that if I want to, right? It's kind of the nature of the game. But even then, it reminds me of how different it is when you're alerting. And I can show you on position history, my one loss is this. I lost 8%. It was only $30.64. I know you can't see that right now because our faces are blocking you. So let me move this for a sec. Does that work? There it is. So you can see all green in here. All the trades I've taken are all green. All the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Oops. All the way up, all the way down. Only losing trade is this one. 8% loss, $30.64. If you keep your losses small, you'll last. You'll last. If you last, you're going to run into opportunities like today where you can pull in 9.7% on your whole portfolio. Now, I want to tell you guys what I've been noticing so you guys can get a little bit of a better understanding after these dumps. This has been happening quite often where you get this consolidation and then you get a dump. Once the dump is over, you get a nice push to the upside. Still a lower high, but you get a nice push to the upside. Then you get your dump and you get a push to the upside. And you get your dump and you get your push to the upside. We got our dump. Here's our push to the upside. Because no chart just goes straight down. It's not a meme coin, dude, right? Where they just rug the whole project. This is a behemoth in the industry. People will understand Solana's worth in the long haul regardless. One of the banks I bank with JPM Mortgage. I can't transfer money to crypto with Chase. Do not allow it. I can do wire transfers to crypto.com, but I cannot just do a debit, MoonPay, do a Chase debit card. They just don't allow it in this state. Recently, they announced that they just assumed debt. They used Solana as the blockchain. They're now obviously involved with Solana. One of the biggest banks that's been on reserves for the longest when it comes to crypto. Institutions are 100% involving themselves in this. It is obvious. When you're trading perps, you have to last, guys. If you don't last, you'll never know if you're a good trader. Part of lasting is avoiding the losses. You're never going to avoid them all, but keeping those losses as small as humanly possible is so important. I hope everyone was safe today in the market conditions. I really do. I hope everyone was really safe. I didn't hear about anyone getting liquidated, so that's always good. But I know that this pump fake, this bull trap of a lifetime. For me, fortunately, it was 4 a.m. it started. So I didn't see it. This whole run up, I didn't see. 6 a.m. is when it hit its, or I guess at 7 o'clock in the morning, it hit a peak of 134 and it dropped pretty fast. I didn't look at the charts until after 8 o'clock, really like 8:30. So I was fortunate enough to miss this bloodshed because this is a liquidation of all liquidations. After you get a nice little hold on the 126 and push that fast, that hard in a 1 hour candle, next hour coming up, opening really strong, only to flush like that, that's a rough patch to be in. If you're not monitoring your positions, you're going to get left high and dry. If I am not in a position to be on high alert, I don't trade right now, guys. Only time I trade is when I'm going to be in front of my post. I call it the cockpit. If I'm not in front of the actual screen watching the chart, I do not want to be in a trade. No way, no how. It is a see green, take green. I've been saying this for months. See green, take green. If the market gives you an opportunity to extract resources from it when you're trading it for that particular reason, you see the green, you take the green. Do not round trip. Do not wait for it to come back. And although I am not giving you financial advice, I'm telling you, this is what my mentality has been. I see green, I take green. So don't get it misconstrued. I'm not here to advise you on how to trade these things. I'm just here to tell you how I trade. It's free to join the group chat on Novex. It's free. You can be in there on Telegram. It's absolutely free. And you can see some of our trades play out. Again, full disclosure, 205 is when I alerted it, 122.38 average. That was my average at the time. Obviously, I averaged up on this position, which I showed you on my arrows, but it's still at 122.88. So no matter how you chalk it up, even after my alert, it's 50 cents higher average than it was when I alerted it. And as you can see, I'm up 36%. So you'll have plenty of time to look at the trades that I'm taking, analyze why, ask questions. I usually give a breakdown as to why I'm taking these trades. For example, yesterday, or I'm sorry, the day before, the 15th, December 15th, I posted a chart. I posted a chart. And I said, this is the only uptrend I see. It was these 3 circles. So I was longing at 9:15 in the morning. 1 unit at 126, 2 units at 123.50, blah, 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 blah. Showed when it was opened. So 1 unit here at 126, 1 unit here, 126. I showed my position, got up to 9%. I added 2 units here. I showed that my average went down to 125.24 because I added those 2 units. And then we finally got this pull down, this drawdown that was heavy. Heavy. So I said, if we don't hold 124, I will close and reposition. Yes, still see green, take green. I closed it and repositioned because why? We lost 124. I then repositioned. My average was at 123.72, up 13%, 19%, 38%, finally started trimming. I showed again after losing 124, closing and repositioning at 123.50, my next ad, it made the most sense. 44%, 52%. I'm out, closed all my longs. I tell you guys the whole time, I'm going in again, jump back in, trimming, back down to 1 unit, last trim, trimming after that last ad, last trim. And you can see some of these percentages. You guys, I show every one of my trades. I don't just show you my wins. I show you every one of my trades when I'm in this group chat. I promise you, this is not fluff. This isn't me bragging and boasting. Again, Solana's price is deteriorating as I'm making these moves And let me tell you, bro, it's to build an account in the asset that's declining. It's hard to do because even on those winning trades that you see, my assets, quote unquote, my value of my account sometimes goes lower than where it was. Because again, if I divide it by the amount of SOL I would have, I have more SOL than I started with, but the cost per SOL is depreciating. So I want you guys to be aware of that. Last night I was talking to one of the homies and I was like, yeah, bro, it's not the fee that got you. It's the SOL drop in price, right? So when SOL drops, it weighs on it. Wanted to break that down for you guys to understand because it kind of clicked for me last night as I was trying to explain it. The point I'm making is I'm still in C green, take green. I'm still making money on longs in this environment. And if you position yourself the right way, this is the best time to learn. Make sure you understand the importance of the platform. What I love about Novex is what you can do while you're on the chart. Trading from the chart is absolutely ridiculous. I can't tell you how many times I've grabbed this right here, take profit, moved it up, changed the denominator on it to let's do half, 50%, confirm, and I'm done now. 50% will sell right here. And if I start seeing it pop real fast and I think it might have some extra room to the next leg, then sometimes I like to move it all the way up. And just like that, I moved it up here now. Like, you know what? Let me give it some room to breathe. It's looking good. Volume's kicking in. Blah, 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 blah. That's simple. If I'm getting ready to go to bed or I got a phone call, I come here, I do a stop loss, pull it under the most closest support. I want to sell all 10 that I have left, confirm, and I chill. Well, I don't want to take a loss on the last 10 units. Matter of fact, I want to make sure it's all profit. So I can grab it, put it right underneath. And now it's still a stop loss, but it's a stop loss higher than my average price I paid. So now I have guaranteed profit on the last 10 that I have left. And doing that right now costs me zero. Moving it from here to here costs me nothing. Moving my take profit from here to here costs me nothing. Adding another take profit for the other 5, maybe I think it's going to have trouble at the 50 SMA. So I go, you know what? Let's sell half of them there first. And if it continues to run, then I'll sell the other half there. Well, now I have 5 to be sold, 50% right under the SMA. I'm sorry, 50 EMA. And then another 5 to be sold right under my key level. Doesn't cost me anything. Now, of course, when it clears, there's a fee from Solana Gas, but it's already factored into the per dollar amount. It's 0.06 and 0.03 for the taker, which is 0.09% it's going to cost for every dollar I trade. 0.09%. Taker and maker combined. It's very inexpensive. But that's how this benefits me in so many ways, because now what can I not do tonight? I cannot have this last 10 Solana turn into a losing trade. I cannot do that. Everything's set up already. My take profits are set. My stop loss is set. I could wake up and it can be in between the range and I can still have the same 10, but I can't physically take a loss on the last portion of my position because I've put the stop loss above where I entered. Preserving the profits is massive. Making sure a green trade doesn't turn red is massive. It's the only way to truly compound. So when I tell you that Novex.finance is like legit the best trading platform I've ever traded on, I'm telling you based on experience. I've used BTCC, I've used CoinCatch, I've used Jupe.ag, I've used Bluffin. I'm telling you right now, this is the platform built by us traders for us traders. So everything we liked from this platform and that platform and this platform, even platforms like Think or Swim in the stock world when we were trading options, I wanted on this. Yo, can we trade on the chart? Yeah, no way. Yep, here it is. A couple weeks later. These are things that will potentially change you from being inconsistent to consistent. Because even on a liquidation event, if you get in the habit of putting a stop loss, you're safe from that for the most part. Could it blow right through and not get triggered? Sure, it can. Anywhere that can happen. That happens in stocks too. But I've never experienced it. Orderly has enough liquidity clearly that I've never experienced it. And I've seen like 4 liquidation events in just the past couple of months. All of mine have executed. Small losses are going to happen. What you can't let happen is big losses. I highly recommend Novex, bro. It is top notch. By far, well worth your time. Novex.finance is the site. You can go through your Soulflare, your MetaMask, your Phantom wallet on your mobile device, or you can have an extension that you have already for MetaMask, Soulflare, Phantom, whatever you use, Trust Wallet. You have the extension on a PC, then boom, you can go to Novex.finance and connect your wallet through your extension. When you connect your wallet, it'll ask you for to create an account. You can use Lotto as your code, help the project, or not. It's up to you. And when you're on the actual app, you're going to then connect your wallet and deposit whatever you want to deposit. You want to deposit 1 Sol, half a Sol, whatever you want, USDC. Whatever you deposit goes into the account within 30 seconds or so, and it literally takes about a minute to open an account, start an account, fund it, and trade within a minute. 60 seconds. Kid you not. So when you go to the website on a PC, you'll see up top, it'll say connect wallet. You'll click connect. It'll then give you the opportunity to connect what wallet you want to connect, and it's going to be whatever your extension you're on. You hit connect, then it's going to say this right here, $0, but it'll say deposit. You click deposit. You choose what you want to deposit, Solana, USDC, whatever. Hit deposit. It says deposit, transaction in progress. Within 30 seconds, it clears, and you can start hitting buy, sell, whatever you want. It's that fast. Same thing for withdrawal. You want to withdraw, you hit withdraw. Put in the max, what you want, and you dip. Go straight to your Phantom wallet or whatever you use. What's up, E?
Yeah, and it says your own Web3 wallet, so you can really, excuse me, withdraw it to wherever you need. Like for example, I took out the profits from my post yesterday, for one of my trades yesterday, and added it to the Phenom Poker wallet, and was able to buy into the game just with that. And for anybody who's used to trading on your phone, if you have whether it's a PC or a Mac, I just have I have my laptop, and I went to I think Chrome was the browser I had open. The seamlessness between trading in Phantom on the in-wallet browser to just going to Novex.finance on your web browser and syncing it up, it's seamless because you have a completely different interface. And Ghost was kind of hovering around it with his mouse above where the deposit and withdraw section is. If you guys aren't sure about a trade and you're not actively talking to somebody and you have no idea, there's actually a risk meter up there. So Phantom, listen to me. Novex actually does its own algorithmic, accounting based on whatever kind of trade you're trying to put in. Say you're going to do, I want to just drag the little slider to, 50% of my soul to get it in this trade at, X amount of leverage. That bar is going to change depending on what you're trying to do. It's going to be like, yo, man, I know we're not financial advisors, but we're a little bar here that's going to try and give you a heads up. This is what's this is kind of a risky move here based on what you have in your account. It's just really cool stuff. And I mentioned that because it's not on mobile. Every little leg up helps, guys. And this is absolutely phenomenal stuff.
No, I appreciate you bringing that up. The risk rate, once you take a trade, it'll tell you, like, I'm only risking 1.11% risk rate. That means like my risk of losing on this trade is not a win or lose rate. It's what I'm risking in my portfolio. Why is it factored in this low? Well, my liquidation is $56.76. Sol would have to get to $56 in order for me to lose my $800 in this account. That's what that means, right? So it's very, very, very low risk for that to take place. Now, of course, if I add to this trade, then my liquidation goes up, right? The more I risk on the trade, the higher my liquidation is. Now, this is cross margin, right? It's not isolated. What you have to do on cross margin until you get used to it, what I did is I would put in a stop loss that would take out 100% of what I'm risking. So for example, if I'm putting $100 on a trade, I would move the stop loss down until it said I would lose $100 worth of money. Then I knew that's 100%. That's like an isolated trade. That's where liquidation would be if I was on an isolated trade. The difference is the liquidation on here is going to be a lot lower because I still have reserves that they know are I'm good for it, in other words. So I can choose to let it breathe more if I want to. I say this because people are like, oh, I don't like cross. I prefer isolated. You can turn a cross account into an isolated account by just setting a 100% stop loss. So the second your trade goes to negative 100%, you can close it and you're done. The trade's over. So it becomes an isolated trade. The difference is you have a lot more wiggle room. Being at liquidation of $56.80, even though I'm on a 50x trade, is asinine. But it's possible on Novex, right? A lot of people like to do small trades with like 100x. And some people like to do huge trades with 10x or 5x, right? It's all personal preference. But that risk rate is awesome. As you're trying to kind of hone in on risk management for sure. I wasn't going to stream today because of the phone call I got. I see Chris is asking, why am I so tired? I'm actually not so tired. Again, wifey's in here asleep and lights are off. That's why I probably look like I'm really a ghost right now. Let me see if I can. I was going to try and change the lighting a bit, but it's all I got. It's going to be hyper white for now. But I'm not so tired. I'm just trying to keep it a little quiet in here. And I didn't want to be inconsistent and not stream today, especially considering we had such a fall out of nowhere on Solana, knowing I'm a bull. Last thing I wanted is y'all to be like, oh, Ghost probably got liquidated. He doesn't want to talk about trading. Rah, rah, rah. No, I had a call from a business partner. He was having a little bit of a rough time. And as always, y'all know people come first. I wanted to ensure that that boy of mine understood things were going to be okay. And so we chopped it up, had a great conversation. He's in higher spirits. That's amazing. And I wanted to jump on to close out the night to make sure y'all know I'm in high spirits, always blessed beyond belief. I'm beyond grateful to get another day on earth. I know today I wasn't really online much. And I know also today there was trade talks ordered in the court. And for whatever reason, X was really being something else today. I tried to jump on the space. For whatever reason, when they send me co-host, it kept glitching. It showed I had a mic, but it showed I was listener. No one can hear me. I logged out, logged back in, went in on the Lotto page, tried that, didn't work. And then I was on the live stream, but I couldn't even talk on the live stream because the only audio you would hear is coming from Clutch's mic. So there was no way for me to push my sound onto the live spaces. I didn't even really get a chance to even hear it at one point. It was acting that crazy. So long story short, I didn't want y'all to think I was hiding from anything. I'm still here in the building, trading with the best of them and posting my trades all day, every day. Tomorrow's Thursday. I do have Cup and Handle with Ghost, episode 6, I believe. I'll be here at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 12 o'clock Eastern, noon, tomorrow afternoon, in which we will actually take some live trades and we'll dissect the market and see what happens when we wake up. Because of this volatility, we never know. We might wake up and it's at 140. We might wake up and it's at 95. That's how crazy this is for me. I look at this and I genuinely have no idea. But that's because I also don't predict personally. I know I'm not a predictive trader. I am a reactive trader. I like to react once there's an overreaction. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I find myself going in longs a lot during this cycle. Every time there's an overreaction of dropping, I wait till the exhaustion starts to kick in, start to piece in and build a position. And then obviously, as you see, start to scale out of that same position. I'm definitely, once again, not trying to brag, but like, bro, you guys got to understand how ridiculous this is on the 1 minute, man. I mean, we're talking about the swing low, first buy, swing low, second buy, local low. You can see them on the local lows. I was grabbing longs on the local highs. I was trimming right at the peaks on these 1 minutes. Once again, confirm this was a local bottom, added right here. You can barely see it, but you can see when I hover over it, I added right here. Got confirmation on the upside, trimmed on these zones, added more on a higher add, trimmed all the way up, and then added again, trimmed on the local high, trimmed on the local high, added again, trimmed on
Those
the local.
white lines, your weekly levels? Is that
Yeah.
the weekly? That's what you're saying? All right.
Yeah, all my white lines are weekly levels. All my royal blue lines are monthly levels.
Gotcha.
All my yellow lines are key levels. And then you'll see intraday lines at times, like red lines would be support lines.
Oh, that's
So-
right. This is like the legend version. Yeah. So whenever you see the color later, this is what they refer to. I love it.
But yeah, so I wanted to ensure everyone knew I was good. I wanted to ensure that we also discussed our on-chain lotto.
Ooh, okay.
There's only about 84 people in here due to the late night stream. I wanted to spin tonight, but it's kind of spur of the moment and I can't be too loud. But I want to show you how we're going to pivot. What we did initially is we pivoted already a couple times where we did this triple active drawing where we said once they're all full, we'll spin one time and whatever number comes out of the lotto machine, whoever owns that number in all three lines would win. There was advantages of being first because if you were the first $10 buy, you got the number one ball in all three lines, meaning if the spin came on number one, you would win 5 million AF on the $10 line, plus 2.5 million on the $5 line, plus 1 million on the $2 line. That's a 8.5 million token spin, right? We also knew the $2 would fill up quicker, then the $5 would fill up, then eventually we get to the $10 and we'll eventually fill it up. But the problem is you guys are smart and you're like, well, why would I buy a $10 ball right now if I don't get a $2 ball and a $5 ball with it? Some of y'all knew when you bought your $10 ball, you might have bought the 29th $10 ball, but it ended up giving you the number 60th $5 ball and the number 69th $2 ball. So you had three different numbers. That's three possibilities of winning one of these prizes. Well, unfortunately, it didn't really work because we're still not full. We're still not maxed out. So I came up with an idea. It's going to be a revolving play. So this list is already filled. This list has two more to fill. This list has about 40 left. So we're going to spin tomorrow. Let's say a number 35 comes out. Well, whoever owns the 35th transaction will get $1 million on the $2 ball. Whoever owns the 35th transaction on the $5 ball will get 2.5 million. And obviously there's no 35 ball here on the 10 yet. No problem. It'll sit there. We'll have a new $2 list and a new $5 list pull up. Now all over again, if you buy the $10 ball, you'll get a $5 and a $2 ball all over again. So essentially, as each list gets filled, we're going to spin. And if the number is active on all three, then it's paid out and all three will start over. For example, if a 28 ball comes out, whoever owns the 28 on this one gets 5 mil. Whoever owns the 28 on this one gets 2.5 mil. Whoever owns the 28 on this one gets $1 million. And then you would have three new active drawings with no slots filled. That's how we're going to pivot this so that if you did buy a $10 ball and got all 3 balls off default, and you do hit your number on any of these 3 that hit, great. But if not, because this one isn't full, it'll carry over, and these 2 will just be new emptied out lists after they're paid out, right? So it's going to be a revolving door, if you will, but we're also going to put a timer on it. So we're going to say at this time, if the lists are not full, we're still spinning for all 3 lists. That's where we're going to be pivoting more importantly. So if this list isn't full and a 69 comes out, eventually this list would not win anything yet. This list would not win anything yet. Still 2 balls left. And this list would be the only winner. So you would see a new $2 list appear, and the repetition would go on. This keeps it interesting, fun, and gives you guys the ability to play, but most importantly, gives us the ability to actually spin the machine rather than waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting around until they're all 3 filled. So I'll make another announcement tomorrow so everybody's clear how it works. And then from there, of course, we'll actually spin the dang thing. I've been excited to see if the jackpot, which is at 1.5 soul, is going to hit. Now, remember, there is one thing that we're adding. It is a progressive jackpot. So this one has no jackpot yet, but after we spin, it'll have 0.2 Solana. So for $2, you could win potentially 0.2 Solana, and you could potentially win or 1 million tokens. Same with this one. We'll have 0.5 Solana in the jackpot next round. And then, of course, this one is added a Solana, so we're going to round it up to 2 Solana for the jackpot in this one. Fuck that. I want it to be Friday already for poker. That's funny. Yeah, bro. Shout out to Phenom, man. What a day yesterday was. So fun, bro. Yeah, Friday, World Series of Poker. Be there. New platform. Who dis? You guys will, everything will be the same. You're still sending AF tokens to the same poker wallet. The only difference is instead of requesting a password to get on Club GG, we did away with them. You'll be getting a link that will allow you to register on Phenom. So that's how you're going to be able to play. Same thing besides that. What else did I want to cover? So yeah, so for the lotto drawing itself, we're going to do that tomorrow. And I'm going to announce, again, the pivot on, tomorrow during the cup and handle with Ghost. And then we'll spin that evening because I want to get to the point where all 3 of these lists are done. And that way we can start the new route on the moving forward. That way people don't feel some type of way that they bought $10 worth to get all 3 of the balls and now it's changing. I don't want to change anything for this particular round, except for the simple fact that we're going to spin. And if this one if the number is too great and it doesn't clear this one out, we'll keep it open until all 3 are full. We'll do 2 new ones, a 2 and a 5. For the poker UI and everything, friends list, click on me and see if send money feature works. Oh my God, you're a fool. Send me some money, see if it works, Ghost. I hope you guys enjoy your evening, man. As far as my trade is concerned for the night, kind of broke it down to you already. I'll probably just keep these take profits and stop losses up for the most part. But I might, get in front of it and actually execute a little differently. I might have a couple more in me, a couple slaps on some triggers and some clips on some pops. But obviously this time of night gets really slow and I don't want to force trade anything. Had a really good, successful day, as you guys can see from those 1 minute candles. Yeah, man, definitely absolutely awesome. Hey, what's the run so far when you took last L? Took my last L in trading? Are you asking about my last run in trading? Yeah. Well, this is a 2-day-old account, or I guess 3-day old now, technically. I opened this on the 15th, and I did have one loss on here. This was at like 12 in the morning. I closed this one out. I lost $30.64. I don't know if you can see it, but I lost $30.64. Here, I can show it to you. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. There it is. This one right here is the last loss. It's my only loss in the 3 days since I opened this account. $30.56. The only other red you see is the funding fee. That was 3 cents it cost. Other than that, everything's green on this account. So you're going to take a loss. I mean, what is that? 1, 2, 2 and 1, 3 and 1, 4 and 1, 5 and 1, 6 and 1 hit rate on this new account. 6 and 1. You're going to take losses. They just got to be small. Like, I don't mind taking a $30 loss. I could have kept it open and it would have printed. I was in a long, but I don't go to bed with longs. I don't go to bed at all with positions for the most part. And if you go to 12 a.m. was right here. So obviously I would have woke up at 6 a.m. and been in heaven if I woke up in time. Or if I had take profits, I would have printed on that trade like crazy. But I didn't set take profits and stop losses. I just closed out my position. I took a $30 loss and was like, I'd rather sleep like a baby. But yeah, so 6 out of 7, I guess, in the past 3 days on that particular account. I take losses all the time, you guys. I want you guys to know that. Like, a losing trade to me is more important. So before I take a trade, I have a strategy that I'm witnessing, whether it's like pattern recognition or support resistance or moving averages or whatever it is that I see with a high probability of going one way or the other. I'll take the trade, but I always map out why I'm taking it. So the strategy, I map out where I'm entering it, where are my adds to enter into the position, and then I have where are my exits, both for the downside, but also exits to the upside, my trims. Once I map that out, it's up to me now to execute. A winning trade is I executed. Like that $30 loss, that's a win for me because I executed. I was like, all right, dude, didn't move the way I thought it would move before I go to bed. So good night, I'm signing off. I take that loss. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay is waking up and then all of a sudden I see this. I wake up right here and I'm like, oh my God. So I could have been winner if I was awake at 6 in the morning, but I lost. I don't want to live like that. So a winning trade to me is that I executed the strategy and was disciplined enough to execute it. That's a win for me. I don't look at the profit and the loss as a win because I can't control the price action, but I can control my actions. And that's a winning trade to me. So when you ask, when's the last time you lost? I haven't lost in a long time because I trade I trade my strategy and I execute and I stay disciplined. So I haven't lost in a long time if you ask that. However, public trades are for the most part the same as my private trades. I really don't trade too often without alerting the room. Again, at late night, I'll trade sometimes if I see a good setup and I won't alert the room at midnight. But other than that, my trades are public, all of them. And you can follow me on Novex and you can see my wallet's public. So you can see most of these that you're seeing are trims. It's the same trade. I'm just trimming. Like right here, my first trim at 27%, it says trimmed at 12:44 in the afternoon. Runners running wild, trimmed again, of course. So these are trims. I didn't just let my position go to, all of it go to 41% or 53%. My last trim was at 53%, and then I was all out at 52%. Then during the live trade, I took a trade, and I said, I'm trimming my live trade. So if they were in the live room here last night, they would have seen me take this trade, and it went up to 19% when I trimmed. Day before that, this was my starter. popped instantly, trimming. I'm actually out entirely. Day before that, we had 100%er. That was a fun one. But this was just my runners left. My last trim was 91%. I trimmed after the last ad at 60%. And so when you see me say like trim after the last ad, it's because I'm adding at these levels always. So if it comes back down to that level, I add a lot. But this is pretty much every day, bro. I mean, this is the one loss I took on the 15th that I was telling you, the $30 loss, I think. This was the one I took because we lost one of my key levels. So I took the loss of 7.7%, and then I just repositioned myself. So rather than being in at 125 on my average price, I just took that 7% loss and I jumped in at 123.72, which allowed me to get all of this bangers. As you can see, 123.72, the price was at 124.80. So I was green by 50%, but 124.80 was the market price at that point. So if I stayed in on this one, the price was 125, I'd be red still. But just by closing it out, waiting for more pullback and re-entering, it popped me profitable. So sometimes you got to make those decisions on the fly. In this case, I actually mentioned it ahead of time. Like, if we lose this level, I want out and I will reposition myself. This one was a crazy one right here. 232%. This was wild. I forgot about this one. That was on December 11th. I mean, you can go in the group chat and you can see my trades. It's really difficult when Sol's going down. That's one loss I've had in the last few days, but it's hard. It's difficult when Sol's going down because even your winning trades, your value of your account sometimes is down, bro. It's like, give me a bull run and these same trades would be absolutely ridiculous, right? So if you can go long in this environment to accumulate more Solana to where when it does get bullish again, even if it's temporarily bullish, you can have more Sol now to take advantage of that run without being in a trade at that point. Yeah, I don't predict. I can tell you if this happens, this will happen. If that happens, this will happen, right? Like that's the prediction I do. So I go, if we can't hold 123, then we're probably going to come down to 122.46. If we break above 124.80, then we're most likely going to touch the monthly level of the 125.73, right? So that's where I base my trade. Oh, it broke it, so I'll take a short. Oh, it broke it, so I'll trim. Oh, it's most likely holding here, but there's a chance it loses it. It will probably hold here, but if it loses that, it'll definitely test this again, and I don't mind adding to my position. So if I start here, add here, and add here, then that's my trade for that particular trade. And I know that, then what am I going to do? Well, if I started here and it just goes up here, then I'm trimming. If I start here and it does hit my second ad, I'll add. That way, next time it comes back to my first ad, I can trim here. If it continues to go, great, I'll trim again up here. But if I start here, and add here, as soon as it comes back up, I trim here. Oh, I trim here. Oh, I trim here. Oh, still running, trim, all the way up. Because I don't know when it's going to stop pulling back. I'll never know that. All right, we're still up 30% on this trade. I just exited off my stop loss since I'm here. I'm going to keep this position open. I still have 10 left at 31%. I'm going to keep this one open. I got a lot of room and my liquidation is really low, but I'm not going to let this turn red, this piece turn red. I'm starting to see a little bit of symmetry on the 1 minute, but I want to look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour lost its uptrend. So we've lost our 1 hour uptrend for sure. Can maybe go this way for now. It's not really an uptrend yet, but it's kind of where it's doing. This magenta line that you guys see is everything for me. Everything. This is our downtrend from 237. So if you go to the daily chart, all right. See this daily chart? These candles represent days. On October 6th, no irony that USDT started its uptrend for the day on October 6th. Here's your daily chart on USDT dominance. When did this start? October 6th. On October 6th, okay, the daily chart on USDT started moving. Ironically, October 6th, we hit a high of 237. And if I extend this, it's not going to be too far away from this 253, which means it's probably not going to be too far away from the 295. But let's just understand what we're seeing here on the daily chart. That purple line has been tested multiple times and has officially became a trend. So it started at 237.50 on October 6th. Disregard all this clutter and just follow the purple line, the magenta line. It then hit another wick at 205.40. Continue to come down. The next day wicked. And then you follow it down. This is daily candles. It's been a long time since we hit it, right? This is a downtrend on the daily. Downtrend on the daily. Downtrend. Ah, here it is. Next time it tested it was December 4th. Closed beneath it. Rejected it. December 4th. Here's another day. Finally, we broke above it December 9th. Yay, we're back. Yay, we're back. December 9th, we're above the trend. Look at it. Oh my God, we're at 145. We're back. The kid's back. And by the time the day closed, it closed beneath it. The magenta line closed beneath it. Next day, it opened above it. Tested 140. Tested this area here, 142, and it rejected. Where did it close? Beneath it. For the first time ever, since losing it, October 6th, on December 11th, it opened above it and closed above it. Not after some crazy pullback, mind you, right? It pulled back pretty heavy, but closed above it. That was bullish. But then the next day it opened and closed beneath it. Beneath it means the bottom of the red candles are closing below that purple line. Green candle opened beneath it, closed above it. Okay. Lost it. Every purple line, lost it. Finally closed above it. And what happened today? We closed beneath it. Now we open beneath it. We're so far trying to come up and get back above it. You can see those green lines and the magenta line, and we are not above it. So what does that tell me? I'll tell you what it tells me. It tells me that the downtrend since 237, October 6th, since that time frame, we have yet to reclaim it and hold it. We've pitter-pattered all around it, but we've yet to reclaim it. So we're still in bearish territory. We're still in a downtrend. Until we bounce off of it and take off, we're in bear season. So that's why if you look at these trims, they're also right there, because every time we get to this line, after losing it, it's rejecting. Add, trim. Add, trim. Add, trim. add, trim, add, trim. If you look at it by the hour, go to the half hour, same difference. Add, trim. Add, trim. Add, trim. Add, trim. So I'm perpetually trading perpetuals. Adds and drops and adds and drops and adds and drops, and that's the way I trade these things. So yeah, Mr. Chris, you take L's. You take L's in trading, no matter what. No trader is going to be 100% batting average, but a good trader will go on runs. Like I've had multiple, for sure I've broke 17 in a row, like multiple times. I don't know my record, but I just like remembering saying, damn, I have 17 in a row. Multiple times I've done that. I haven't really tracked how many in a row because to me, it's not really a winning or a losing trade. It's just like I'm executing like I want to execute every time I trade. I'm still learning things that I could do better. I'm still adjusting on the fly. But yeah, executing my trade is important to me. And that's why I've been successful. We seem to be losing some steam here. So I'm going to close out another half. Oh, that's right. I don't think my wallet's connected anymore because I went live. I'm not connected. Let me reconnect. All right. Phantom. There we go. Okay, I just closed another half to be on the safe side. I'm probably on Ethereum now. Solana, there we go. Sorry, guys. I had to reconnect my extension, so I had to move my browser off there for a moment. So now we're up to 9.7% on this portfolio today. That's what we've made on the portfolio today. So that's good, dude. 5% a day doubles your account. A 9%er, almost 10%er, that's like, it's pretty good, right? 5% a day doubles your account in less than 2 weeks. And that's where we're at. So I'm going to close the rest of this position here so we don't turn it red. And now we're officially out, which it also canceled all of my take profits. But look at that, right before it went red, dude. So we closed it out green on the day, man. Love that more than anything. We might even have an opportunity here to take a short, depending on how it reacts to this 122.68. Yeah, we could take a short here if we wanted to. Low 123.19. 123.19. $122.67 is a low. Yeah, that's a good short right there. So when you can see certain things like this, it becomes really obvious, right? Like you have your initial curl. So this is the peak of your high. The next one comes and it's lower than the previous high. So buyers are now exhausted. The candles are closing lower than the back. And now it finally just starts getting tired. So it's healthy. You get some pullback. We've also lost the daily trend or the uptrend for the hours. This was our hour uptrend that we finally lost. So that would have been a good opportunity to take a short, but I'm honestly, I'm exhausted, you guys. I love you all. I will, do you think we hit 200 plus beginning of new year? I don't know, bro. I wouldn't be
one of these New Years. Absolutely.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 200 by the end of this year, bro. That's how crazy this market is, bro. Honest to God. I would not be shocked. If Solana hit 200 this year before the end of the year, I would not be fucking shocked, bro. I wouldn't. I'd be like, checks out. The ups and downs on this thing is insanity to me. So I would not be surprised. You know, I wouldn't. But to answer your question, yeah, I'm a long-term bull. I mean, I think the market cap on Solana will continue to grow over time. I think its market share will continue to grow over time. I think crypto in general will grow over time. Therefore, Solana being one of the biggest players. You feel me? What's up, Chrissy? Nice to see you in the building. But no, man, I love you guys, bro. I'm exhausted. I had a long day today. Super, super wild business-wise. But I appreciate every one of y'all for tuning in. I know we're light work today. I started the stream super late, and that's my apologies. But I love you guys, and I'll be here tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. for Cup and Handle with Ghost, episode 6. Egon?
Thank you, Ghost. Yeah, no, it was a good night, and yeah, I can't wait for Cup and Handle. I'll have my coffee at work, and let's rock and roll going into the holiday season. And happy Hanukkah for those who have celebrated. I know it began this past weekend.
Happy Hanukkah, absolutely. Thank you, E, for pushing me today. I was gonna actually not stream just so everyone's clear. And Egon's like, the market was pretty bloody. You know, you're a part of Novex. You don't want them to think anything weird, like you lost, or maybe you're not there. Maybe people need some insight, dog. I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna show up today, even though I shouldn't, because I got so much on my plate. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show up today.
No worries, and I gotta call myself out. Ghost said, "Hey, you can handle it if you want. I'll come up, say hey," and I was like, "Hey, I can't even begin to speak to the market as eloquently as Ghost has been putting it for these past hour and 23 minutes. I thought he was going to keep this less than 10 minutes, which in Ghost streaming time, I said, all right, maybe it'll go a half hour, worst case." we went triple digits. So thanks, guys. If you needed, if you got anything from this, we're all close to 100 concurrent viewers here on our late stream. Check out Novex.finance. Put in the code LOTTO for some love. It's good to see you guys here. And I didn't see any or much complaining or the fact that anybody got liquidated. Yes, there was talk of the markets being crazy out there today. But, sometimes, if you get liquidated and things like that, I know sometimes you're not saying it out loud. Or you're not going to be the loudest out there. So if you took anything from this, please, our DMs are always open. The Telegram group is free. Get in there. Ask questions if you need anything. But yeah, we're here to help. YOLO just had a free Dark YOLO NFT drop. Things are absolutely just going crazy out there. Dante dropped his, was it Twisted Santas? There are some twisted ones. Woo! Woo! All kinds of crazy stuff. Wait, just dial it in, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun this Christmas. A lot of fun AF. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. Again, E, thank you, bro. I really do appreciate you, bro. Man, I say it all the time, but genuinely appreciate you, bro. We didn't take the short, but if you guys were listening, we said it was a good short opportunity, and we knew it would test that 122.68 again, and it's losing it. So we'll see if 121.69 is in play. Thanks for pushing me to jump on today. Make sure that everyone's safe out there during this wild mayhem. And also, if you got liquidated today, bro, you wouldn't have got liquidated if you were in our Telegram. I promise you would not have, because if you would have been following anything I was doing today, you would have taken a long at the bottom. I bottom wicked it. You can go to the 1 minute. I'm going to show you one more time just so y'all don't think I'm bullshitting. We're going to just expand on this one more time. 1 minute candles right here. 1 minute, top left. You can see first bottom wick, which was the local bottom right here. Second local bottom right here. Trim, 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 trim for positive. Another local bottom. Trim, trim, trim for positive. And then here you can see the last ad I did wasn't here. Didn't bottom wicket, but you can see right here. I bought 50 SOL at 121.77, right above my level. I always say 121.75 at this level, right there. So we had to wait a little bit on the 1 minute candles, but where did we get out of that? Some beautiful trim, 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 more trim. And then we started averaging up. This is, I think, when I alerted the room right here, and we saw trim, 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 more trim. Averaged up even more right here. Trim, 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 trim. Added more on the way up. Trim, 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 trim. It's okay to add on the way up, dude, when it makes sense. You feel me?
You drive an electric car, but you got a gas lawnmower? I keep hearing you try and start it. You're having some engine issues. Mine was too earlier. Trim, 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 trim. Sounded just like that. But no, seriously, seeing you on the 1 minute chart and the 20 plus trims, or whatever the numerically it was. I mean, there is an art to this, guys, and it'll just subtly sink into your head. I keep using take profits and stop losses like it's my job. Probably should have done it more so today, but hearing Ghost say how many times he does it and seeing it yourselves on the chart, if you guys can see those green and red arrows above and below the wicks, those show your buys and your sells. I
love that about
it becomes second nature, because I didn't mean to cut you off, Ghost. This thought doesn't leave my brain. It's just gonna be gone. The fact that you used to say, "Hey, I don't set limit orders. I don't set stops or take profits, losses, things like that," because you like to actively monitor them. But as anybody who tunes in knows, it's you don't like to hold the things overnight, and because you have no control over it. But
it's also isolated. Yeah, it's also isolated versus cross too. Big difference.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, isolated. If I'm risking a Solana and I get liquidated, cool. Like, that's okay. I lived the fight. On a cross, you could be risking a Solana, but you could get your whole account taken. So definitely a difference between stop losses and take profits on that type of information for sure. But yeah, dude, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buys today, and my trims were one.
And these are on 5 minute charts.
7, 8,
so
9.
Guys, if you're trying to do this with one position, let's say you just go in real big and you're just trimming because it's going the whole way.
23 trims.
I had higher leverage, so across those 23 trims, mine might be red for the first 5 trims, just because of the leverage or the fees or whatever, because your position is not completely out.
Yeah,
once
remember,
you close it finally, it gives you the aggregate of everything, and you'll ultimately be green if it's going the way that you want it. If I explain that correctly, Ghost.
Well, remember, there's no fee per trim. There's a fee per dollar amount. So if you buy 75 SOL worth and you're at 50x leverage, and the dollar amount worth of trading for easy math is $3,500, then you're getting a 0.09% fee for that amount in. And no matter how many times you're trimming on the way out, once it's fully out, you're getting the 0.09 on the out. So you're really looking at a flat situation here. So for CoinCatch, every time you execute a trade, they charge you just to execute. So if you're trimming, you're getting punished. You almost got a full in, full out. On Novex, it's just the dollar amount. You can hit buy and trim 10 times in, 20, 30 times out, like you saw what I did today. And I'm beyond profitable because the dollar in and the dollar out was the amount that I got charged my fee on. not per trim, which is important for my style. Other people
Correct.
That are in and out scalpers, something like CoinCatch won't affect them as high as it'll affect me. But we have better fees than CoinCatch, and you can trim several times and not be punished. You know, on CoinCatch, what was happening to me is I'm like, damn, dude, every time I trim, they're hitting me. I have to just hold this longer, hope it goes in my direction more aggressively to cover this. And then I would let a green trade turn red all the time because I'm like, I can't even trim it. It'll just be a red trade anyway. So now I need it to go more in my direction. In this case, I could trim at every level and add at every level, back and forth, pitter patter, pitter patter. I'm literally, you can see just it's going down. I'm still able to scalp up. It's going up, still able to scalp down. And it's because I respect my levels. I respect what the chart's doing. And I gracefully enter and exit when I'm supposed to via my plan. And there is no charge for that. My first few trims, I was red still because I was only up like 11%. And it already had charged me for the amount of fee for the buy I did. That's why you'll see the first few trims, you might be red because you're still holding a bigger position, even though it's up. It's covering the first buy on the maker and taker fees, 0.06, 0.09. So you're selling and it's going towards that. Then eventually you've paid the back off, and now you're only paying off the fee of going out of that position. So that's why it might look like it takes you a while to trim to get into the green. But if you would have full clipped right then and there, you would have been green at that percentage. Even only 8% up, you would have still been green. It's just a matter of covering your first fee out and your first fee in, and then covering your second fee out.
Yep. So good stuff. Thank you so much for the lesson. We got to get you some caffeinated coffee tomorrow morning for Cup and Handle with Ghost. As you said, episode 6. It feels like we're already like 12 episodes in. But if you guys are curious as to previous market sentiments, all of the spaces are recorded. So go to Ghost's X page at @IamGhost_AF, and you could even type in, the word handle, and it'll you click the video tab and it'll bring up all his Cup and Handle episodes. They'll be right there.
Thank you, E.
Thank you.
Don't forget to repost the stream, like it, love it, hit us with some live replies. You never know who's waking up on the other side of the world, like our homie Mr. Chris in Estonia, that might want to tap in and get some info on trading. Novex.
And shout out to Mr. Chris for the Christmas vibes. So Merry Christmas, Mr. Chris. I know it's rocking over there.
Absolutely, man. Novex.finance. That's what you're looking at here. Best platform in the game. It's built by us traders for us traders. Get accustomed to it. It ain't going nowhere but up. Love you guys. See you guys tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard. God bless all of y'all.
I'm in the game. I ain't folding no chip. Stacking these plays like I'm flipping the script. Perps on the screen, cards on the table. Hustlers and dreamers, we will and we able. All in, no cap. It's wait, go slap. New is the win and we running it back. Lotto lit and we moving quick. I know breaks, just plays that stick.